Now students, let's take the question from section E. These are 2-marker question and we have this question number 22 here. Blue litmus solution is added to 2 test tube A and test tube B, containing dilute HCl and NaOH solution respectively. It means in test tube A dilute HCl is there, in test tube B NaOH is there. In which test tube a color change will be observed? The first part. State the color change and give its reason also. That you have to mention here to get full 2 marks in this case. Let us solve this question. You should always know that whenever we talk about blue litmus paper, it changes its color to red when it is dipped in acidic solution, and if you are doing so, you will get the color change. So simply you can write here, the color change will be observed in test tube A only, not in B, because in B test tube there is sodium hydroxide and in case of base, blue colored litmus solution remain blue. Further, next thing that you should mention here, that the color of blue litmus solution becomes red as acid turns blue litmus red. So this was the color change observed and this is the reason that you are observing there. It means for each of these parts you would be getting 1 mark in this way. So total 2 marks you have obtained. Now this question also has an internal choice. It means you can either do this question or you can choose the next part. So let's take the next part. What is the observed when 2 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid is added to 1 gram of sodium carbonate taken in a clean and dry test tube? Write the chemical equation for the reaction involved. It means in this case you are taking dilute hydrochloric acid and that is added to sodium carbonate. We know that carbonates and bicarbonates when added to acidic solution, then in that case evolution of carbon dioxide gas is there. That you should mention to get full marks here. It means we will solve this question in the simple way by writing that when 2 ml of dilute HCl is added to 1 gram of sodium carbonate, there is the evolution of carbon dioxide gas and you will observe brisk effervescence. Along with that, there would be the formation of water and sodium chloride salt. These are obtained in the solution. It means carbon dioxide gas and brisk effervescence are the main thing that you can observe there. And in this case, you have to mention the chemical reaction also. That chemical reaction you can clearly see here. Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, it is reacting with HCl and there is the formation of sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. You can clearly see here sodium carbonate we have, HCl, NaCl, H2O and CO2. The CO2 is the gas that is released and while doing so you will get 1 mark for writing your statement and after that 1 mark for writing the chemical equation. It means for this practical based question you have obtained total 2 marks if you mentioned it in this way. I hope you have attempted this question in the similar way to get the full marks. Now after this it is the turn for the next question, that is question number 23. Now friends, let's take the next question of the chemistry section, that is question number 23. In 3 test tubes A, B and C, 3 different liquids namely distilled water, underground water and distilled water in which a pinch of calcium sulfate is dissolved respectively. These are taken. Equal amount of soap solution is added to each test tube and the contents are shaken. In which test tube will the length of the foam be longest? Justify your answer. It means in this case first you have to identify the test tube in which longest foam would be formed and the second thing you need to just justify your answer also. You can answer this question by simply writing that test tube A contains distilled water, that is a soft water, but if I talk about test tube B in which underground water is there, that is hard water. Similarly, if I talk about third test tube in which you have taken distilled water, but in that distilled water you have added calcium sulfate. That is the main reason of hardness of water. It means on addition of calcium sulfate in distilled water, there would be the formation of hard water once again. So we know that soaps have the nature to form foam with soft water. So longest foam would be formed with the solution present in test tube A, that is distilled water. While if I talk about B and C, less foam would be formed. So we can answer this question by simply writing The answer, that length of the foam will be longest in the test tube A, the first part. And the second thing, to give the reason, you can give the reason by mentioning that soap produces good leather with soft water, and that is distilled water. While if I talk about test tube B and C, these contain hard water, and soap forms come in hard water, not the leather. That's why foam length is less in this case. So, these are the key points that you need to mention. Good leather with soft water, that is distilled water, and B and C contain hard water, and scum is formed in hard water. For this question, if you mention the correct answer, you will get 1 mark, and for justifying it, you will get another 1 mark. It means total 2 marks you will obtain for this question. I hope you have attempted this question in this similar manner to obtain 2 marks. Now, after this, let us move towards the next question.